Now that Oregon's coach Dan Lanning has come out and said that he is not leaving Oregon to take the Alabama job, these are the candidates that Alabama should consider for its next coach. Let's get into the tier that I consider they're not going to leave, but they should probably call. Let's start with Kirby Smart at Georgia and Steve Sarkisian at Texas. It really doesn't make sense for either of these coaches to leave their program in the SEC to go to Bama and be in Nick Saban's shadow. If you want to see a more in-depth reason why I don't think either of these two coaches would go to Alabama, make sure to check out my latest video to see why. Next, I think Mike Norvell is someone they should at least consider. His record at Memphis and Florida State speak for itself, and with him only being 42 years old, he's got a lot of coaching years left. Up next, I think Kalen DeBoer from Washington is a solid choice, but I don't know if it's the best fit. He has no SEC ties, however, he is 104-12 all-time in his coaching career. The guy just knows how to win, obviously getting Washington to the national championship this year, and who wouldn't want to coach like this? Besides these four coaches, I had to venture out into some wild card picks. You probably have absolutely no idea who this is, but this is Georgia's defensive coordinator, Glenn Schumann. Glenn Schumann has never been a head coach, and that's a huge con for Alabama. However, he has spent 13 years at coaching positions with Georgia and Alabama. Oh, and he's also an Alabama player himself. Glenn Schumann and Dan Lanning were co-defensive coordinators together on Georgia, and when Dan Lanning left, he assumed the full defensive coordinator position and hasn't looked back. He wouldn't be the ideal candidate, obviously, but it's someone to at least consider. But here's my last wildcard candidate, current Ravens offense coordinator Todd Monken. He used to be the offense coordinator for Georgia for Kirby Smart for a while. If he wanted to throw his hat in the ring to get back into the college coaching career, this could be his opportunity. Again, just a wildcard candidate, probably not the guy, but someone to consider outside of those top four candidates. Last but not least, these are the candidates I think just would not work at Alabama. I just really don't think Lane Kiffin would work at Alabama, guys. I think for Ole Miss, he's perfect. He can go 10-2 every single year, and you can rely on that. However, you know and I know that what Alabama expects is for Alabama to be competing for national championships, and I just don't think Lane Kiffin is that guy. I think he's great for a program like Ole Miss, go 10-2 every single year and be a high-end SEC team, but I think if Alabama hired him, they would eventually fire him for not being good enough. And the same applies with Dabo Swinney, but in a different light. He is good enough to win a national championship, but he is not adapting to the current state of college football. And I just don't think that Alabama can hire him full knowing that. It is not going to be easy to replace the GOAT, but who do you guys think Alabama should hire now that Dan Lanning is out of the picture?